Hello and welcome to a new F1 Gamer Dad video. Bit of an absence from the norm, if you will. I'm not going to be showing you anything on screen or anything like that today. Today is all about my new setup. So I haven't streamed or uploaded any videos for some time now. Previously I was running F1 2021 on the PS5 and it was working well. I was running on a Logitech G29 with pedals. But that only got me to a certain point. I wanted to upgrade things to really embrace this lifestyle and embrace the fact that F1 is my life, and streaming and content creating is the direction that I want to go in for the foreseeable future. So I've made some pretty drastic changes. You might notice I'm sitting in a bucket seat at the moment. So we've gone full simulator. Okay, I'm really excited about it. We've got triple screens. I'm gonna take you around the rig and also my editing setup as well. Hope you guys enjoy it. Any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I'm still very, very new to this. And while this has been a pretty unique outlay and massive investment, I'm not stopping here. So if there's anything that's gonna make my life easier or make your experience watching these videos better and richer, I want to know about it, and I want to see what I can implement, how I can make the stream and the YouTube channel better. Okay, so we'll start off with the rig. I've built a full custom PC. I'd never touched a PC before, apart from workplace settings with MacBooks, which you can't change anything on. So that was a very daunting and scary and stressful experience. I will also note that cable management has not been done yet, so please bear with me on that. It looks like a bit of a mess, but the bones of everything is here and it's fully ready to race and to actually utilize. Cable management will come. I'm not so interested in everything looking super pretty just yet, because there are still some things with the PC and with the rig that I'm going to change. So once I've got everything 100% in place, that's when I'll tidy up the cables and make sure that is very manageable. But for the moment, it's really just about making sure that I can utilize it and I can start uploading again and start streaming again. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the rig. Okay, apologies for the shaky camera work, but here is the setup. So we are in my garage, aka the man shed, aka the simulator room. Went with the Trak Racer TR120. I could do a complete review video for just purely the rig because it is that good. I should mention I'm not being paid by Trak Racer. I don't have any sponsorship with anyone. I would love to say that I do, but I do not currently. So all of these opinions are absolutely my own. And yeah, I think it's a brilliant piece of kit. It took around about 10 hours to build together, and that's including adjustments for the triple monitor arms, all that sort of thing, because it does take quite some time to get things just the way you want. And everything is very adjustable, but yeah, it just takes time. So that's the rig there. I've got three 32-inch 1440p 1000R curved monitors from AOC, and they just look absolutely fantastic. The boom for the microphone swivels down so it doesn't get in my way while I am racing, and that's the setup, which when you're in this cockpit feels absolutely fantastic. The immersion is coming from someone who had a very simple screen, a very simple G29 Logitech wheel. It is a different world. It is an absolute different world when you're sitting in here. So in terms of the seats, I've gone with a bucket seat, the GT style bucket seat from Trak Racer. I've heard a lot of opinions that it might not be the most comfortable seat for long periods sitting in the chair and racing, so for endurance races and those sorts of things. So far, I think the longest stint I've done in the seat has been, I'm going to say maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, stagnant, and it's been fine. The padding is not the best. It's not, not unbelievable, but it's not super uncomfortable. So it doesn't come with reclining. So once you've got things bolted in, it's there, it's set, but it does have a lot of adjustments you can make. So you can actually recline it by taking off these two screws here, so one here and one here on both sides. It is on a rail as well, so you can slide it forward and backwards. But yeah, no issues to report at the moment. I mean, I'm willing to update this down the line, 6 months, 12 months in as well, to let you know how it is to own one of these over the long term. But as I say, so far, absolutely no issues whatsoever. It's quite comfortable, and it's just the feel that it gives you and the confidence it gives you to stamp on the brake pedal, you know, during a race and know that none of these arms, none of these mounts, anything is going to flex because it's all absolutely rock solid. So thoroughly impressed with what Trak Racer has done. So moving on to the hardware for actually racing. So I went for the CSL DD. I was in two minds about this, owning a PS5 as well and wanting to get a bit further into GT7. So I was going to hedge my bets and go for the GT DD Pro wheelbase without the wheel because I wasn't a big fan of the plastic looking GT wheel. I definitely wanted the Formula V2.5 wheel. So I ended up going with the CSL DD. About a week later, it was announced that the GT DD Pro wheelbase without the wheel was being launched. I mean, to be fair, I think I would still be waiting for it to be delivered if I waited for that one. But yeah, no regrets here because once I've actually gotten into PC and I've got ACC, I've delved into iRacing, I've got F1 2021 on there, it's a different world. So I'm very happy with the decision to migrate and to merge to PC gaming rather than PS5. So no regrets there. The CSL DD is fantastic. I cannot believe the jump in clarity, the jump in force feedback. I need to work out more because I literally feel tired by the end of a race session because of the force feedback, and I don't even have it turned up to full. I do have the boost kit as well, so it is a full 8 Newton meters of torque, and I don't know why you wouldn't get that if it's an extra 100, 150 Australian dollars. I just don't understand why anyone wouldn't upgrade to that if you're going to outlay this much cash on the actual system itself. Moving downstairs, the pedal set is the Club Sport version 3. Now again, going from the G29 full set, this in itself, I think if I went still with the G29 wheel but just upgraded to a different pedal set, the difference would have been mind-blowing in itself. But going to the full, up to the Formula V2.5, the CSL DD, I'll get to the shifter, the SQ, and the pedal set, wow. Like I can't really put into words the difference. The feel that you have on the brake pedal, because the brake pedal, I don't think it's publicized too much. The brake pedal will vibrate if you lose traction or if you lock up. The throttle will actually vibrate if you have wheel spin. The feel you get through these pedals, and not to mention as well, like the brake pedal is a load cell brake pedal, so it's not based on the amount of travel, it's based on the amount of pressure that you put into the pedal. Again, mind-blowing. I can't describe it in full detail because it's something that I didn't really expect. I didn't really anticipate that it would make that much of a difference, but all of this translates into comfort, it translates into feel, which ultimately all put together translates into lap time. So you can't underestimate the difference that this is going to make to your experience and to just how quick you are in the seat as well. Okay, next up, and not so important for my F1 specific content, but I do like to do some GT and some supercars racing as well, is the shifter. So it's the Fanatec SQ shifter. It does come in sequential, or if you flick a nifty little switch down the side there, it turns into a 7-speed H pattern. You can adjust the feel and the tension that it takes to actually make these moves as well, which I just think is fantastic because I like to be able to feel that I'm in gear. I like to be able to feel that, I'm actually taking the car out of gear, I'm stomping on the clutch, and I'm actually making that move. The same thing with sequential as well. I want to feel that this is connected to a 600 brake horsepower V8 supercar. I want to make sure that the feeling with all of this is as close to the real immersion as possible. And this is a fantastic kit. Again, with Trak Racer, they've got this awesome gear mount setup, and no matter how much force you put behind this, there is no flex. There is absolutely zero flex with the wheel mount, with the shifter mount, with the monitors. If you're, you're really getting into things and you're in a very powerful car, you're putting a lot of force through the wheel, there is no flex or vibration. It's absolutely fantastic, to be honest. Okay, next up. So in terms of streaming, so I actually I've heard of Razer through a lot of YouTubers that I follow, a lot of F1 YouTube enthusiasts as well, but I had never actually done any investigation on what they do. So when it came time to get a webcam, and something that, previously I was just using my MacBook to actually do the webcam while I was doing streams, and the clarity was not great. So when it came time to make this big investment, I knew I needed a better webcam setup, something that could focus and actually, isolate different pictures. So what I ended up going with was the Razer Kiyo Pro, which from what I've done so far is fantastic. You can adjust the field of view, you can adjust focus. Comes with the Razer Synapse app on the desktop as well, so you can very easily adjust things on the fly, especially through Streamlabs or OBS or wherever you're doing your streaming from. While I'm in the seat, I am using a pair of Bose QC35-2 headphones. I don't know if that was the subliminal advertising from Tom Clarkson through the F1 Beyond the Grid podcast, because he mentions it every single episode. Not sure if that was it, but I ended up with those, and they're beautiful for clarity and, again, immersion, the noise cancelling, making sure that when you're in the seat, nothing else is going to bother you. You've got the full noise of the car and your spotter or your crew chief or whoever it is talking to you, or if it's Jeff during the F1 games. So yeah, very, very, very happy with this. The swing arm and the microphone is a USB setup. This, I think I will be upgrading. The microphone itself, while I'm in a stream or while I'm recording a video, is not the clearest. But I love that with everything on the Trak Racer setup, it's very flexible. So I've actually put this just onto the wheel mount, and it's fantastic. So when I need to get out of the seat, I just lift this up, I get out of the seat. When I'm down in the seat and recording, I can move this to the side, I can move this to the other side, make sure it's right next to me, but it's not getting in the way of the wheel. So very, very flexible, all these different parts of the setup. One thing that I haven't done, which is next up on my to-do list, is the mouse, getting a mouse pad or a mouse arm, and the same thing for my keyboard as well. So at the moment, the keyboard just sits on the floor, the mouse sits up there on the wheel mount. Not the ideal situation though. Okay, next is the beast that is powering all of this. Like I said at the top, this was not something I had invested in previously or even done any research into. When I decided to make this transition, I went through a few phases of, okay, if I'm going into PC gaming, I need an expert who knows what they're doing. I need them to build me the best rig possible and just pay what I need to pay. The more research I did into it though, the more I saw that the pre-built gaming PCs just weren't up to standard, or they cost about 1.5 times what the parts equated to, because, in fairness, labor is what it is. You have to pay for someone else doing this for you. So I made the decision to just go for it. Okay, just do what I need to do. I got all the parts over a period of time and put it together. I've actually only just upgraded, so I got 2 8GB RAM sticks to start with. I actually just got an extra 2 because I realized that for video editing specifically, it needs about 32 gigs of RAM to be comfortable. Again, cable management for the PC as well is something that I have not spent the time and effort on thus far, so that is coming. So in terms of specs, we've gone with an Intel i7, from memory 7700. Got the CPU cooler. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fans in there. The GPU, which is, as all of you would know, probably the most important part, especially when you're running quad screens, because I've got the 3 screens in the rig, and I'm actually powering this screen up here for video editing as well. So it really takes a lot of power. So the video card is a Gigabyte GeForce RTX 3080 Ti, which from all the research I did was plenty enough. Well, there was some conflicting information that no, you'll need a 3090, you'll need all this extra stuff, and the more research I did, this is absolutely sufficient. This is more than enough for what I need. So very proud and happy with what I've been able to do with this. Like I said, cable management will come. I will make it look very pretty so that, you know, I don't necessarily need to hide anything, but for the moment it is doing everything it needs to do. It barely gets warm because it's got enough juice to do absolutely everything I need it to do. So very impressed with that. And also RGB is not something that I ever was into before, but the more PC parts I get, the more I am into RGB. You'll notice I got the Trak Racer RGB Mat as well, which as you press the button, it cycles through all the different colors. You've got plenty of, hopefully not seizure-inducing color schemes, but plenty to keep you occupied. I generally just keep it on the green to match the green screen behind the setup. Okay, last but not least, the editing studio. So if I'm running a video like this and I need lighting, I've got the ring light, I've got my whiteboard with my goals. You guys will absolutely be contributing to my goals. So I've got video ideas on what's coming next. My goal at the moment, 100 YouTube subscribers. I cannot wait to do this video in 6 months, 12 months time, see what the goals are then, see what the setup looks like then. So it's 100 YouTube subs, 100 Twitch followers at the moment. My first content goal, volume goal, is 40 videos and 40 streams. Just a bit of my ideas. And also, I think the why is really important with all of this. I want to make sure that this is not just a flash in the pan. This is not something that, you know, only goes for 6 months and then, you know, life happens and we continue on with other things. I've got clear reasons why I'm doing this and why this is going to be part of my life going forward. In terms of the editing setup, so like I said, I'm running quad screens. So this is all connected to the same PC. I've got a Mac just purely because I use Mac for work. And this is my workbench as well. So converted from an actual, you know, wood making and metal making workbench into my editing desk. And it's a stand-up desk as well. So if I need to sit down, I can put a stool here, but it's very, very neat and works quite well. So because of the power of the PC, quad screens is not a problem, and also running Premiere and Photoshop. So Premiere for video editing, Photoshop for thumbnails and things like that. It does absolutely everything I need it to do. So there you are, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video of my new setup. Would love in the comments, link me to your setups. I'd love to see what you guys do. Like I said, I'd love to see any ideas you have as well for what I could change or what I could, you know, tidy up, or things that I'm missing that are going to be essential. I am curious about, you know, while I'm streaming, is a capture card necessary? What kind of, you know, spec does the microphone need to be? There are so many things that I don't know that I'm going to be doing a lot of investigation on. So if you can save me that time, and, you know, hopefully you've learned a lot from this as well on things that you can do for your setup, we're going to help each other. That's what this channel is all about. If you see my goal here, entertaining is definitely one of my, you know, one of my reasons for doing this. But the second one on this list, to help others like me. I'm a fan of F1, I'm a fan of gaming and streaming, and I watch so many more streams than I do. So my big thing is make sure that people just like me, because I'm not a pro, I'm not a great, you know, racer, or I'm not an F1 esports pro or anything like that. I want to help people like me, okay? I know that there are a lot of people that are well ahead of the curve, they're doing their own thing. I don't want to necessarily be the person for those guys. I want to be the person that helps people like me in this situation, and hopefully I can. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. The next one will probably involve some actual game time and screen time. So until then, thanks very much.